What are the other skills that you see outside of, looking at someone for their fit for the thesis, but what are the other skills that you find are the most critical for successful entrepreneurship? What are you looking for people?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to what, some of your first questions about, how am I as a leader and how do you identify leadership skills? I think it's very similar. I want to see somebody that is passionate about what they're doing, is going to put their head down no matter what and find a way to succeed, whether or not that's on the original path that they planned, or if it's figuring out a different way that makes more sense for what they're doing, what they're trying to achieve. So I think there's, again, bringing humbleness to entrepreneurship, recognizing that there's could be a better way, and finding what that is, and bringing and surrounding yourself with a team that can do it just as good, if not better.
Why do you think it's critical today to have a groundswell in the market? Why now?
Totally. I mean, I think there's a couple realities that makes Groundswell relevant for today. I think that technology has really given us the ability to change and understand things seamlessly in an instant. And it's also created transformative opportunities. The last decade has impacted us, on our wellness, both environmentally as well as on a human level, in generation defining ways. You think about the weather patterns. So I live in Montana right now. This year, we've seen massive flooding. The grass couldn't be more green. Last year, beginning of summer, we were, inundated with smoke. There were forest fires at the beginning of the summer, and so it couldn't have been more dry. So the fires, in California that we're now experiencing, the global pandemic, the rapid rise in chronic illnesses. I think Groundswell exists to really reverse these trends, and we're harnessing the power of technology to create better outcomes for both people and planet. And I think there's just so much innovation and opportunity to bring capital to these areas that can really change the outcomes. Yes, driving financial returns, but creating positive impact for all of us.
So values-based investing and really changing what's in the market, what do we consume, and how do we live? Sounds to me like it's at the core of your values to really have an impact and a big legacy in the world.
Absolutely.
So we can cut this part of the interview if you want, but I would love to understand what got you choked up just now. Is it that it's hard at Groundswell right now, or is it because your mission is so critical to you today?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's definitely something that I'm super passionate about. And so really being able to communicate that in an effective way that resonates with listeners, consumers, investors, everything, I think that there's so much there. So I just want to make sure that I'm able to effectively, get that point across.
What do you want them to feel or to know about your vision for Groundswell? Like, what is, like, in your bones, what is it like? This is what I want people to get. I want them to understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I really want people to understand, and I think people are getting there, but there's a lot more work to do, is that you can, make significant change, have significant impact on, individuals or groups of people, demographics that need it most, while also generating financial returns. I think I'm in this business to, yes, make money, but I want to do it by, making a positive impact and changing the world in a way that makes it better for all of us to live. I have two daughters. I want them to grow up in a world where they can achieve and do everything that they want to, and have the ability to have a platform to really stand on. And so, whether it's diversity, whether it's gender, those are things that are super passionate and important to me.
So those beautiful little girls, what are the most important values you want to teach them and you want younger generations to know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like probably fairly cliche, but just that they can go out there and tackle the world and do whatever they want. I want them to be motivated to be successful, find that passion, something that they truly believe in, and be part of, and take a stance.
So when those little girls are all grown up and in the working world, what is your hope for the venture landscape? Like, what do you want to see in venture? Today we've got a lot of we've got some inequity. What's your hope that by the time they're ready to start their first venture, following their mama's footsteps?
Yeah, I don't want it to be a conversation. I want it to just have an equilibrium, and we don't need to have these conversations of how do we improve the equity, gender equity, and their ability to get capital if they want to start a fund or our company, or if they want to start a fund too. I want them to be able to go raise capital as if they're just as good and accomplished as anybody.
So the gender is no longer something that's really part of the conversation. It's everybody, maybe a meritocracy. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah.
What a concept would that be? So in venture, we have so few women who are investing as limited partners, or the investors in those venture firms. There's just not enough. What do you want the women out there to know about investing in a solution like Groundswell? Like, why should they take some of their retirement funds or things that they've got in the terrible market right now? What would be the benefit to them by being involved as investors with a Groundswell?
Sure. And I think it even goes back to our last conversation, our last question about, what do I want my daughters to be able to do? And I think, sure, I want gender equity, but there's also a lot of data showing that, women run businesses, significantly more efficiently and more profitably. So, I want that stat to be known. And I think it crosses over to LPs and investment funds that, we as female LPs or as GPs tend to want to, or at least for me, invest in other female founders as well. So I think there's a trickle down effect in that for the LPs out there looking to put their money towards female founders, one of the best ways to do it is to be investing in female GPs as well. For us at Groundswell, we have a positive screen for investing in female founders. We really want to identify those females and those women that are building great companies, and do that because, again, it's a business case. Do we think it's the right thing to do? Of course. Like, I want, more people like me to succeed, but we're doing it because we know how to build great businesses.
Yeah, so the data is pretty clear that women are more capital efficient. In fact, it sounds like about 26% higher returns for their investors, right? Yeah. Do you think that that's really because women are better in some way, or is it because the people who are getting the funding that they're tracking are the absolute cream of the crop because only 2% are getting venture funding? Like, why do you think it is that women are having outpaced returns?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more the kind of holistic views that women bring to building businesses. They're a lot more thoughtful, they're a lot more patient. And I think those two elements really help drive long-term success. It's not about quick buck or trying to fabricate a solution. I think that women are really coming to the table with finding solutions to problems that truly exist and that they're experiencing themselves or have identified that impact a larger group of people.
Yeah. So when you say that, sort of, for me, one of the things that comes up is most of the companies that I see, the women have, you said they're solving, problems in the market. Every woman I see has a bunch of values-based bottom lines. Like, they're trying to solve for some climate problem, issue that's contributing to climate. They're, solving for job creation. Like, they're solving a really critical problem in the market in addition to building a really strong business. Is that, what are you seeing when you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on with that. I think it's sort of that longer term play, like, going specifically to climate, that's, we need quick solutions for that, for sure. But that's a really big, real problem that needs to be solved, thinking long term. So I think that those types of businesses, tend to really drive change.